Now, before we get to the game on Saturday, it's time to see what College Football 26 has predicted Troy football to do against the ULM Warhawks. Hunter Boozer has that virtual action for us.
ULM is 3-3 on the season and 1-1 in the Sun Belt, with their most recent game being a road loss to Coastal Carolina. Troy is 4-2 on the season and 2-0 in the conference, with their most recent game being an overtime road win against Texas State. ULM punts on the opening drive, then Troy's Tucker Kilcrease finds a wide-open Ra Thomas for a 55-yard gain. And Troy takes advantage of the good field position as Jordan Lovett runs it in for a touchdown. The Warhawks would march down the field, however Troy's Jamal Williams would sack Aiden Armenta twice to force another punt. However, ULM's defense would stand strong as Troy would be forced to punt as well. ULM would drive down the field and Aiden Armenta would find Nate Sullivan Jr. to put the Warhawks on the board. Troy and ULM would trade punts, but Tucker Kilcrease would find Peyton Higgins to make the score 14-7. The Warhawks would answer again before the half as Armenta found Sullivan again for a 27-yard touchdown. The Trojans would march down the field on the opening drive of the second half, then Kilcrease would connect with Ethan Connor for a touchdown. ULM would go for it on 4th and inches, however, the Troy defense would stop the Warhawks. The Trojans, despite the good field position, would be forced to kick a field goal. ULM would punt again and Troy would kick another field goal. ULM down by 13 would go for it on 4th and 11. The pass would go up, but it would fall incomplete. Troy would extend their lead as Kilcrease would find Connor once again for a 43-yard touchdown. And with less than a minute to go, Armenta would connect with Rylan Green for a touchdown. Desperate for the win, ULM would kick an onside kick, but Troy would recover to ice the game. Tucker Kilcrease would be the player of the game with 206 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Hunter Boozer, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Now that's the prediction, but the real life game will happen tomorrow at 2 p.m. If you don't want to make the trip to Monroe, Louisiana, the game will be streamed on ESPN Plus with kickoff set for 2 o'clock.